This is episode 60, and I don't want to trigger you, but this will be a heavy episode as I will be sharing thoughts and emotions that I experienced recently with you. So, if you're in a good mood or if you're happy, elated, feeling joyful, heads up. I hope this does not bring you down. Yo, I don't care. Like, I do care. I care, obviously, about a few things, like my family and having to get bills paid and taking care of my health. Like, I care about these things, but I'm tired of trying. I'm tired of having to care, if that makes sense. Now, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, my name is Emmanuel. I'm a mental health motivational speaker, and I live with major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. So, what that looks like for me is that every day, and almost every second of every day, the words and thoughts in my mind never run out of breath. I could be in a room that's completely empty, and my mind will think about thoughts from years ago, last month, future thoughts, what things are in the room, why am I in this room? My mind will just keep going on and on and on, even though I'm completely quiet. I'm not saying anything with my voice, but my thoughts in my mind, again, are racing nonstop. This can make it challenging to prioritize which thought is important to focus on and which thought is completely arbitrary or not necessarily needed at this moment to focus on. And again, I also live with major depressive disorder, or MDD. And what that looks like for me is I can be in a good mood or feeling joyful, and I can all of a sudden kind of feel down for just a long period of time. It could be 3 days, 5 days, 2 days, a week. The best way I can describe it is that my mind feels like it's in a fog, a very dense fog that I can't see through. But over time, with breathing techniques and meditation and other methods I've worked on, eventually I get out of the fog and I can see more clearly, and my mood is uplifted. So, with all that being said, this is what my depression looked like last night. Last night, I cried. It's not that it was unexpected or it came necessarily out of nowhere. I felt like for a while now I needed to let something out. But right before I got into bed, I was mentally pushing through the day. I made it through the day. My eyes start tearing up as soon as I hit that pillow. And I really started to think, why am I crying? Like, why do I feel so emotional right now? And if you live with a mental illness, you may be able to relate to how sometimes you can feel down and not know what triggered it, or not even have something necessarily that did bring down your mood. It's just sometimes, at least for me, again, my body just feels sad. It is extremely hard to explain. But this particular time I felt down, I believe it was because, trigger warning, I just don't care about, I wonder if I really cared to be alive, man. I wonder if I really just cared to be here. And it's not that please don't be, see, it's like, I had to, see, this is actually, before I even continue, this is actually the reason why I don't record many episodes or I don't publish many YouTube videos, because in corporate America, in society, me sharing things like this is seen as weak. It could be very concerning, and it can cause people to say, all right, you need to get help right away. You need to seek treatment. You need to do this. You need to do that. When I feel like the thing I need to do most is just let it out right now. And that's what I'm doing by telling you. I did cry last night. And most days, I don't feel like trying to be here. I don't feel like trying. I don't feel like giving life effort. And I just cried, bro. I just cried. I just kept thinking, why do I have to keep trying when I feel like I've given my best my entire life? I started to look back at my life. I start to look at how I treated people in high school and middle school and how I treated people in college. And I really believe that I'm a person that cares to help others. And it's just, I'm just tired of caring about much of anything, man. Sometimes, y'all, I just don't want to face what is necessary. It's like sometimes I don't want to put in any more effort into anything when I know I don't care about much of anything at all. There's people that I love, like I love my family, of course. It's just that I cried last night. I was like really thinking to myself, and this is gonna get a little bit darker again. I'm sorry if I'm rambling too much. It's just hard to get out, but I gotta get it out. So I thought about my family. I was like, if I really chose not to be here, right? If I really wanted to end it. And this isn't the first time I've had thoughts like this, y'all. Y'all know this from listening to my podcast, so it's nothing new, and my YouTube channel. But if I really chose not to be here, I cried even harder that my family would miss me. And then I cried even harder because I was like, I had to have a reason for myself to want to be here. I can't keep staying here because of how other people would be sad without me being here. I had to want to be here because I want to be here, because there's things that are anchoring myself, my heart, my own brain internally that excites me to wake up and face my days. But y'all, that's not running out. It's just being alive takes a lot of energy for me. Sifting through all these thoughts every day, crying, feeling sad and compression in my chest, being concerned about society's expectations of me and how I shouldn't. Hey, if you feel down, come on, you gotta feel up. You gotta work this job. You gotta help these people. You gotta continue to just be positive and uplifting. And I'm just like, I am that person, man. But why? Why? Like, why do I have to be positive? Why? For you? For my employer? For my family? So me being happy and okay is beneficial to you, but how is that beneficial to me? Why should I care? Because of the pain I'm in? Because of how much it hurts? Well, we're back to square one. I live with major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder, and that takes a lot of energy already. So how about this? Can you tell me why I should be happy? Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why I should want to be here and I should stay here for myself? For me? Reasons why I should stay? I just shared all that and I felt so exposed and emotionally naked. But I don't even want to talk anymore, to be honest. But I know I need to finish this episode because you are possibly still listening. And I don't know how you made it through all that emotion. I don't know how you are still here after hearing all that. But that is the truth. I cried last night. I hope that after sharing that, the pressures I feel from capitalism and society in America, I hope that I learn how to healthily cope and push through these moments even better. Crying is not a bad thing. Letting it out is not a bad thing. It's not a crime to cry. Even though I'm a man, even though I'm sharing this online, people actually cry. People actually hurt on a day-to-day basis. And I wanted to share my hurt because it hurts. That's the first reason. And I had to let it out as a way to healthily cope. And I hope that by me expressing myself, it helps at least that one person in the world that may be feeling down and maybe feeling like they can't talk to anybody and they just know they're not alone. Like, I hope. But even then, it's like, Deech Nation, I care about you. I care about you even though I don't know you. But why should I? I've been doing depression talks for 6+ years. It will be 7 years in October. Even throughout this time, people have come up to me and said, how can you care about me when you don't know me? How can you be responding to these comments that are really depressing all the time? Doesn't that bring your mood down? You shouldn't be talking about this stuff online because that's very personal and private. It isn't healthy that you're doing depression talks because you're constantly receiving depressing thoughts from other people sending you messages. I've heard all these things, but it doesn't make sense, at least to me. Just because it's hard to talk about doesn't mean it shouldn't be talked about. And there are actual people on this earth, and maybe it's you, that do get sad, that does cry, that does feel down from time to time, and possibly even feels like you have no one to talk to about it. That is the reason why I keep recording, I keep creating, and I keep sharing. I honestly don't even know if you'll find this podcast episode helpful. But if how I try to articulate my emotions and feelings with you resonated with you and made you feel less alone, then I think that's more than worth it. If you did find this helpful and you would like to support the podcast, make sure to leave a review because that helps this episode and this podcast reach more people who might be looking for support. If you are looking to get more connected or for more mental motivation, then you should definitely check out my YouTube channel at Depression Talks. On that channel, we are almost a community of 20,000 individuals. So if you're looking for a mental health community, there's definitely a place for you. All right, it's time to end the episode. As I always say, do you stay swagalicious and keep smiling. I'll see you in the next episode.